Hey guys, I'm here with another horror story. I was at my friend's house for dinner. She had just gotten a new place, and it was lovely. The inside was modern, but it was one of those older modern places where they built the house really fast and cheaply to make a quick buck. She must have left the door open because he jumped off the toilet and ran away. I called out to him and then heard him running down the hall towards the washer and dryer closet. She didn't believe me when I told her that the sound was coming from inside the dryer. It lasted for about 10 seconds, and then everything went quiet. I sat there thinking about what I should do. She was holding the air mattress pump and asked if I was okay, so we ended up just talking until 4 in the morning. That's when I heard laughing. I felt horrible for pushing her, but I couldn't help it. She burst out crying and ran into the bathroom. As I was drifting off, I heard what sounded like heavy footsteps above us. I asked her if she was okay, and she told me to shut up. I had scrapes and cuts all over my body, but nothing serious. I was confused as to how I had gotten out of the window and onto the ground. I walked back to my friend's house and knocked on the front door. I didn't know what I was expecting, but I was hoping that someone would answer. No one did. I looked through the windows and saw that the house was destroyed. The walls were torn apart, and there was blood everywhere. I don't know what happened to my friend, but I've never been back to that house. I could tell that she was scared, but she didn't want to show it. I don't know what compelled me to do it, but I got up again and walked into the bathroom. I don't know why I did this either, but I turned off the overhead light and stared at my reflection in the mirror. It wasn't my face staring back at me, it was my friend's. She had blood all over her hands and mouth, and she was smiling from ear to ear. I screamed and ran to the window. I don't remember how I got there, but I looked out and saw that we were 30 feet up in the air. The window was on the second story of my friend's house. I don't know how we got there, but then I blacked out. We live in a 2-story home, so there was no way anyone could be walking above us. Unless it was my friend S's brother who stayed at home during the summer. I rolled over and looked at the ceiling. I don't know why I did this next part, but I got out of bed and walked over to the dryer. I opened the door and stared inside. There was nothing there. I slammed the door and went back to bed. I tried to convince myself that I had imagined the whole thing, but then I heard the footsteps again. I knocked on the door and asked her if she was okay. I heard muffled sobbing on the other side, and then silence. I sat back down on the couch and waited for her to come out. A few minutes later, she came out of the bathroom. She dried her eyes and was trying to smile. She said that she's sorry that she laughed so loud and said that she'll try to be more quiet in the future. I believed her. I knew that she wasn't faking her sadness. I just wished that she would have told me what was wrong, instead of keeping it all bottled up inside. I told my friend that I'm sure that it's just someone messing around, but then she started laughing too. She laughed and laughed. It sounded evil. She wouldn't stop. I told her that something was wrong and asked her to please be quiet, but she wouldn't listen. She just kept laughing, harder and harder. I don't know what came over me, but I stood up and pushed her. She said that she heard me scream and run for help. I told her that I had a bad dream and that I'm sure it is all just a coincidence that her dryer broke down at exactly the same time that she went to the bathroom. She gave me a look like I was crazy and told me to just forget about it. She said that she'll spend the night on the couch so that I can have the air mattress. I insisted that she sleep in her own bed, but she said that she wouldn't be able to do that after hearing what she did. I thought about knocking on the bathroom door and calling out to my friend. But then I remembered how annoyed she was at me for bothering her earlier and decided to just let her be. Then I started hearing movement in the closet. The washer was still running, but now it sounded like the dryer was moving by itself. It was very slow at first, but then it picked up speed. I was scared to see what was going on, but I couldn't bring myself to move. I watched the dryer knob spin faster and faster until it was going around in circles. The door was sealed tight, but then the glass window on top popped off its hinges and flew open. I screamed and backed away as the dryer started shaking violently. The closet door flew open, and the dryer crawled out. Its drum was on the floor, so it made this dragging sound as it moved. I fell backwards onto the couch in fear as the dryer came closer and closer. It reached out with its knobs like grasping claws and dragged me off the couch. She walked past me without saying anything, opened the door to the closet, stared in, and then closed it again. She came back out, looked at me and said, "You're just being stupid." She probably thought I was making the whole thing up to get attention. She knew that I loved scary movies and stuff. so maybe she thought that I was trying to scare her by pretending to hear the cat in the dryer. She went into the bathroom and shut the door behind her. I sighed and laid back down on the couch. I was sure that she would come back out of the bathroom at any second, but she didn't. I thought it was weird that he was going in there because that S where she kept all of her cleaning supplies. He must have been curious about them because he had never gone in there before. I wasn't scared about him getting hurt, so I just decided to ignore him and watch TV until my friend came out of the shower. So the walls were paper thin. Now, it was strange because that's never happened before. I stopped what I was doing and listened. It wasn't her dryer. This sound was coming from the closet. I don't know why I did this next part, but I opened the door a crack and looked in. All I saw was the dryer and the clothes in it. I didn't see the cat anywhere, but then I started hearing these soft meows. They were coming from inside the dryer. We're only 2 bedrooms, so we had to sleep over at her place. She put an air mattress in the living room for me. And being that it was only our second night sleeping together since we started kindergarten, we decided to watch some scary movies before bed. Her place was small, so there was no basement or spare room. She didn't have a laundry room, but rather a little nook with a washer and dryer combo machine. She used the washer often, but not the dryer. We took turns watching her cat while she went to the bathroom, which was pretty awkward because he never liked me. She came out of the bathroom a few times to find us giving each other cats a hard time and would tell us to knock it off. Eventually, she told me to go into the bathroom and wait until she got back so that I could watch the cat for her while she showered. I agreed. The first time I watched her cat, he tried to bite me. When I turned around to get up, about 5 minutes later, I heard the dryer turn on. I told my friend about what I heard, and she said that it must have just been a branch outside or something. A few moments passed, and then I heard what sounded like a struggle in the bathroom. I woke up sitting straight up in bed. My friend was standing over me with the most scared look on her face. We tried watching some more movies, but nothing good was on. She stopped laughing immediately and looked at me as if I had grown a second head. We both went back to our beds and tried to sleep. This time, I woke my friend up. She told me to keep quiet and tried to go back to sleep, but I could hear that she was struggling to breathe. When I woke up, I was lying on the ground below my friend's house.